Until now, Melania Trump has avoided much of the political spotlight. The latest CBS News New York Times poll found that 69% of Americans, 69%, do not know enough about her to have an opinion or are undecided. Now, that's not unusual. 8 years ago, our poll found that 72% of voters had no opinion about the wife of 2008 GOP nominee John McCain. CBS News political director and Face the Nation moderator John Dickerson is with us at the table to discuss. Paul Manafort seems to indicate this is not a big deal, that we're making much more of it than it should be. Is Copygate damaging, do you think?
Oh, it's got a gate behind it now already. Oh, my gosh. It's so fast, a gate by this hour of the morning. Yesterday, Paul Manafort was talking about the complexity. What happened, the problem for him at a convention is they're trying to push a message. This is a public relations show. They have a message. And he was saying, and there are all these things that try and take you off message. This takes them off message. Melania Trump was the crown jewel in last night's theatrical production. And now that crown jewel is occluded. There's a cloud around it because of this. And that's not good. That's not good for their message that they were trying to push last night.
Now, there were two messages last night. One had to do with a lot of stuff about national security from Rudy Giuliani and Flynn and others. And then she comes out essentially to give a message about her husband.
Yes, it was interesting, her message about her husband. It was kind of a lot of assertions about him, but it wasn't the kind of thing we saw from Ann Romney, who in 2012 told a story about her husband and eating pasta and tuna when they were young and just starting out, which gave you a kind of real something to grab onto about the private Mitt Romney. Melania Trump told about her experience, but her speech was also just kind of a surrogate speech about Donald Trump. So I wonder how much real insight anybody got into her husband from that speech.
As has been noted, a lot of speeches, you tell an anecdote about how you met, perhaps where you met, or a time when your husband helped you with something, that sort of explains more. That sort of anecdote was missing from this speech last night.
Right. And the reason, again, this is a public relations show. And so people watching take a story that sounds like their life and they use that story to get a connection to the candidate. That's how it's supposed to work. And that wasn't part of the speech last night.
Okay, can we call it a success for Melania Trump last night, despite all of this controversy and talk?
I mean, it's not easy to get up in front of a group and give a speech like that and not in your native tongue.
Yeah, so the crowd loved it, as you pointed out, Charlie. The crowd.
Andy.
John Dickerson, thank you so much.
It was well received.
CBS News will continue special coverage from the convention tonight, 10/9 Central, and you can find nonstop coverage all day on our streaming news network, CBSN.